Hi, I'm Meghann Scully and this is the Limerick Post Show. We're here in the Limerick School of Art and Design. We're going to check out some of the final year paintings and guess what, they're for sale. There's an exhibition taking place, so make sure to get down here before Saturday so you can buy a piece of fine Irish art. I'm joined now by Jonathan Noonan, who's one of the students here and a local Limerick man. How are you getting on?
Very good today now, yeah, very exciting.
Yeah, well, come here, we're here at your exhibition and this is your corner here in LSAD. Tell me about your project and the inspiration behind it all.
I think a lot of my paintings came from what I was researching in my thesis, which was a lot of the kind of classical motifs and how the spectator sees a painting, you know. And I think as that went on and alongside my tutors, I tried to use these ideas and in a new contemporary twist, you know.
What I love about your paintings is the colours and the realism. Like I said, we walked into the room, we saw it, and you kind of were like, wow, it's just so true to life.
Oh, thank you very much. I think with the colours, like, I've two sides of my practice. Outside of college, I'd be a street artist, and a lot of my interest in painting would be classical. So I think when they combine, you get that kind of good contrast with the colour and the realistic stuff, you know.
So, Jonathan, I suppose for a painter and being from Limerick, you must think that it's amazing to see so much artwork across the streets. I mean, like, I think now Limerick is becoming so colourful.
Absolutely, like it's in the last 5-6 years, especially I think thanks to draw out and stuff, draw out exhibitions. Limerick is really embracing that kind of urban landscape in the city, and with the positive and negative feedback, it's teaching us what sits the best in Limerick from that point of view.
And for someone who does street art as well, it must be great because I know you're involved in a few of the murals as well, so it must be great knowing that there's going to be more to be done.
Absolutely, I think I'm the right age and at the right place of college, you know, to be getting involved in it, you know, and going on to do a social practice masters. I think it's a perfect step for me now, you know. And
I think a couple of weeks ago, I suppose you saw the controversy when one mural was painted over. I think a lot of people thought that the city were like, you know, putting up some plain wall, but it turns out that they're going to be painting over them, putting up something very special.
Absolutely, and I think that only taught us as a community what the best type of work sits in the best place in Limerick, like, you know. It's a good community response, really, at the end.
It's brilliant, and I say so much more street art because it just looks amazing. And I think what happens is when people see it, I know people give it out about social media, but straight away you see people now starting to take street art photos and share them, and I think they get such good response. And I've shared photos before, and people actually message me from Limerick and are like, "Where is that? I need to see it." So that's so positive for the city.
Absolutely, it's great from a tourist point of view, but it's also like each mural kind of adds as a standpoint, you know, as almost a meeting point, you know. Some people meet by certain murals, you know, and it divides out the city in a nice way, and I think it's fantastic. Like it brightens up the urban landscape. You can't fail, really.
Long may it last. Now, Jonathan, we just have to add that all the paintings here are for sale, but yours are almost sold out. I think, what have you got, one or two left?
One left, yeah.
One left. So if you want to get yourself painting, I'd say get on down here. They are absolutely incredible. So they are, I have to say, I adore all of yours. I'll say is the very best look at it, and I've no doubt I'll be seeing a lot more of your paintings around.
Thank you very much.
I'm now joined by Olivia Robinson, who hails from Swords in Dublin, and I have to say the colours jump out straight away. Tell me about your collection.
Well, really it's about kind of the flaws in memory, so how we remember and how the mind conceals memory as well. So that kind of state of haze where someone maybe reminds you of an instance in time, and then all of a sudden you can remember the whole instance, or you know that there's something in your head that you know, but you can't fully grasp the whole moment or memory.
Interesting. So it's kind of like, you know, sometimes you have kind of a dream, and then suddenly, like near like deja vu, it kind of happens, and you're like, that memory just kind of like comes flooding back.
State of haze, I suppose. Yeah. So I try and, I suppose, express that notion visually through paint. So there's kind of techniques of reduction and then addition, and maybe sanding down and adding more colour, and then colours are revealed from underneath through other colour, and yeah.
I love it. And can you tell me about some of the materials used?
So these large ones are on Fabriano, and the first layer is emulsion or gesso, and I kind of leave that layer to chance, so I'll tip it and kind of create texture within that layer, and then it's layers of oil paint after that. So it starts with more thinned down paint, and then gradually more oil is introduced, and there's less thinner, and then there's more kind of sand oil, thicker oil to give it a more glossy finish. There's bits of my studio debris in here, so bits of old plaster and an odd footprint here and there accidentally, and then shells play a huge role in my work as well, because I see them as an unending kind of cycle or process.
Amazing. I absolutely adore it. I know that you have a few seashells kind of dotted around as well. Can you tell me how long does it take from like start to finish? I know you've a load of different paintings here to complete the collection. Have you been working this all year or for the past couple of years?
All year. Yeah, all year. But I'd work on maybe 5 or 6 works at a time because I have to wait for so long between each layer to dry. Say every painting has maybe up to 12 layers.
Oh, wow.
And because I'm working in oil paint, I have to just give it the time before. Yeah, I can't touch it with a brush like straight away. So, but it's nice in the earlier layers when there's more thinner, it dries quicker, and then as the piece develops, it's a lot oilier, so it does dry slower, but it's worth it.
I think it's absolutely fabulous. And as I said, everything is for sale, and I've seen quite a few red dots already. So you have sold quite a bit, but there's still a few little pieces left. But it must be great to see those red dots come in and see that people are buying your painting.
It is absolutely, yeah. And to receive an award as well for 2 paintings was overwhelming. Yeah.
Can you tell us more about the award that you won?
Yeah, it was the Collector General Purchase Award. So it was for that painting there and this painting here.
Absolutely incredible. Congratulations. Now tell me, what is the plan now after this, now that you're finished?
I'm going to do a 2-year Master of Fine Art in Emily Carr University in Vancouver.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So what date do you start?
September the 3rd.
Incredible. Well, always says enjoy your summer, and we wish you the very best in Canada. I've no doubt that we'll be seeing so much more of your work.
Thank you very much.
Now we are joined by Limerick man Peter Stout. How are you getting on?
Good, not a bother now.
It's all over, you're finished, or do you have plans to go back to the Masters?
No, not at this moment in time. Just work as an artist and pay off some art bills.
How does it feel to be finished after all these years?
Great, actually, yeah. Bittersweet.
Now, tell me all about your collection. I know this piece really jumps out.
Actually, this is, I kind of based my art on basically iconic rock stars and basically bands I've seen myself over the years. So I've seen R.E.M. a few times over the years, and I had the pleasure of meeting Michael Stipe as well a couple of years ago after 1 or 2 gigs they did. So basically this is oils and canvas. I mostly didn't use a brush. What I've been using are old ID cards and just been scraping the paint over and layer and layer and layer after layer, like. So basically that's how that came about, and I continued on basically with the whole. So every painting here represents any band that I've seen over the years, like basically. So you have behind me The Cure, Robert James Smith. You have Patti Smith then from a photograph I took from a few years ago on Vicar Street of her on stage.
Oh, wow.
So basically then down at the end then we have my tribute to Joy Division, Ian Curtis, Love Will Tear Us Apart. And then the Queen Limerick herself, Dolores O'Riordan, then down at the end then as well, like. So.
Absolutely incredible. So that's cool. You get to bring in your love of music, and I know there's music playing here in the background as well, yeah. And make it into art. So that's incredible. Yeah.
It's kind of something it kind of drove me through the whole year, like, as well, like, you know. So basically, I just kind of, you know, and we came up with a name then as Rock Pop on the Road, like, so. That was the name of my particular kind of show here, like, you know, so my statement and all that, like, so.
Well, I absolutely adore it. Now, I have seen there's a red dot on this one, which means this one is sold. You have a few more for sale, though, and as we said, if you want to buy a piece, you need to get down here before the exhibition is over. Must be such an amazing feeling to see those red dots coming up.
It is, yeah. Actually, there's actually I was lucky enough to sell a few of them from this piece of the collection of work now, so I'm very happy with the way it went.
Peter, well, the very best of luck, and I look forward to seeing more of your art.
Cheers, thank you very much.
Now I'm joined by Justin Gock, and I have to say the colours are jumping out at me here. Tell me all about your collection.
So this body of work I started in September. This is like for the degree show in LSID. So where to begin? Well, I think like the start of this project, I looked at a painting by Piero della Francesca, and it was The Ideal City. And from that point, it developed an awful lot, kind of exploring different kind of topics and concepts and different means of kind of representing them. So within the kind of exhibition, there's a few different sections. I tried to kind of lay it out like a story, mm-hmm. or kind of my journey of throughout the year. Like this part of the show has to do with relates to computer programming. I was working a lot with code. And a lot of the work around here relates to the development of language. These tower pieces as well relate to the Tower of Babel from the Genesis story. There's kind of motifs of walking which kind of go through the entire project, which is kind of slightly later. I was dealing a lot with the technological process of recording. I was looking at Google Maps, and you can see kind of a reference to the DARPA Deep Mine project, which is on YouTube. And again, you see the kind of motif of walking kind of coming through from an earlier point to kind of later on in the project. These ones are kind of later works, probably the latest pieces. I was working with this kind of gloss background to reference whiteboards, and the kind of marker on top to reference learning and school, and the kind of evolution of kind of language and how language kind of develops. And I was working with kind of puppets, which is related to these. The computer program as a kind of puppet, or as something which we control, but which might be able to take on kind of artificial intelligence or actual intelligence. So yeah, that's where it's at.
Wow, it's pretty incredible. And I believe a congrats is in order. You won an Innovation Award.
I did, yeah. It's probably just because I did so many different things, really, or just developed so much over the last few months. I think that's the reason.
Well, that's amazing. And tell me, what is your plan now that you're finished here in LSAD? Are you staying on to masters, or what, going into the big bad world?
Probably going into the big bad world. Probably get some work, hopefully something in art, or probably I'll keep working anyway. Keep on making work. I kind of have to, you know. I can't escape from it at this point.
Well, Justin, thank you so much for chatting to the Limerick Post, and I wish you all the very best.
Thanks very much.
Well, that's it from the Limerick School of Art and Design. Make sure to get down here to the exhibition before Saturday, because you can buy some of the paintings that are left. I can tell you they are selling out very fast. That's it from me, Cian, and all the team. It's the Limerick Post, keeping Limerick posted.